Welcome to our tutorial on how to work with Onteon and applications. Onteon is a software stack to orchestrate, scale, communicate and manage modern and legacy applications in an efficient and effortless way. No matter if it's containerized or non-containerized. It runs on-premise, in the cloud and in hybrid environments. You can learn more from our official documentation on onteon.com/docs, where you also find a quick start section.
Hi everyone. In this video I will show you how to access your services. We will create two simple applications. One will be accessed through edge load balancers, which is the way that external customers are accessing applications. The other one will be accessed by an internal load balancer, which is used for internal communication. We will call them app.en and app.id, which stands for Edge Native and Inner Docker. We will also prepare upgrade for all applications. Upgraded versions will send different responses. Of course, one application will be generic and the other one will be containerized. Let's start with preparing the first application. It will have two endpoints. First one will return a hello world message. The second one will determine if the application is alive. Now we need to write configuration for the application. I already have my configuration written, so I will paste it here. The only thing I need to change is to disable application access in the inner network. It will be available only through the external edge load balancer. Now I will copy the script that packages our application into a tar file. Let's start the application and then call it by name and version with proper URL. As you can see, it responded. Load balancer automatically has chosen the proper instance and routed the response to it. Now let's create an inner application. It will be almost the same as Appian, but will be put into a Docker container. So I will copy the previous application and modify the hello world message. Here's the configuration file. This time I will disable the external load balancer. Here's the Docker file for the application. Now I will create a Docker image and then push it to the repository on Docker Hub. Now I will create and execute a script for building our containerized app. Let's upload and run an application. Let's test if it works. In the next step, we will modify the external application to call the inner application and return the response. So now we will add an additional endpoint that will call the inner application. Let's change the version of the application to 1.1.0. Now we need to build a tar package and upload it to the Onteon control center. Now, instead of manually creating and starting application, we will use the application upgrade. We need the ID of old and new application. Let's upgrade the old application to version 1.1.0. As you can see, it replaced the old application with a new one. Now let's send the request to a new endpoint. As you can see, the external application passed the response of the inner application. Now let's change the response in app ID and upgrade it to a new version. Let's test if it works. As you can see, there is an error. It's because we hard-coded the version of app ID in our URL. In Onteon, you can also select applications just by name, or in future releases, use the regex pattern to define proper versions. Let's use the by name URL without a version in the external app. As you can see, now it works. Now we can do some operation again with updating the response of the internal app. Let's test it. Now it works, and there was no problem with upgrading and versioning.